Okay, perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ishu Pokhrel, and I'm the president for NSA for the spring semester. And welcome to our second speaker series with Neeraj. So Neeraj is a biomedical major here at UTA, and he created the startup app. And I'm just gonna pass it off to him so he can kind of introduce himself, and let's go off that. Neeraj, it's all you.
Thank you, Isu. Hi everyone, my name is Neeraj Mishra, and I'm in my senior year last semester, studying biomedical engineering at UTA. First of all, thank you, Isu, for organizing this and NSA team overall, everyone, and also for marketing this speaker series to different chat groups. This is really nice. And without wasting time, let me introduce myself, like where I come from. So my hometown is Kathmandu, Nepal. I grew up there. I was born in Kathmandu, was raised in Kathmandu. I studied in Kathmandu overall to my high school. I went to Trinity and I'm here at UTA studying biomedical engineering. In my last semester, I did a couple of internship, and this two brand here, Staircase Solution, was my very first here in Haltom City, and another is Catland, which was in. They have multiple locations, but mine was in Maryland and the Harmons, Maryland. I was doing quality engineering internship with Staircase Solutions, and I was a validation co-op at Catalent, also a quality co-op over there, and then worked with a pharmaceutical company with different brands, manufacturing different products. And also precisely at Staircare, what I did was worked on injection modules. And at Catalan, what I did was work at different cell and gene therapies. And we had a contract-based company that we manufactured drugs for various other companies, yeah, sometimes Blue Rock, sometimes other companies like that. And sometimes with Pfizer's partnership with Pfizer's as well. So those two things. I did my research experiences at UTA under Dr. Justin Jaworski's lab, and I'm also currently undergrad research assistant with the undergraduate research opportunity program. So there's two different programs I just want to list right now: UG RAP and Europe. So Europe is basically for international students, and UGRAP, you can do both, but UGRAP is mostly for people who are from this state themselves. And then after coming to 2022, I created this platform, Sochkudan, basically thinking it would be a nonprofit and help students to gain some knowledge. And then after also with that flow, I created Sochkudan podcast. At first, we started through Sochkudan Instagram page. We used to do live sessions and used to talk with fellow students who just completed their or was completing their programs, and I was also involved in talking about their experiences, how to get their job, how they land their dream internship or something like that, and also to narrow the gap of information between Nepal and the United States. And it was also focused on talking experiences about Australia and Canada, but later on I made it precisely to be specific to United States. And then after within that flow, I went ahead and kind of wanted to make it more subtle and also more professional. So created Source Code on Spotify. We have, I think, now at least 6 or 7 episodes, and they're very trimmed. The latest one is with Kaushal, and another one is with Priti Adhikaridi. She's the founder of the Great Nepali Diaspora. If you guys haven't heard about it, you guys should definitely check it out on LinkedIn. They're very popular and they're very growing. I'm also one of the ambassadors for them, and I run their ambassador hub for ambassadors. And we are trying to run different projects through it too. So if you guys are interested in those things, please join that too. Okay, so by saying that, in today's presentation, we are definitely going to talk about Sochkodan as a nonprofit, as a private limited that I just established this year in Nepal, and Sochkodan podcast. So just I said, Sochkodan podcast is bringing people from different experiences and diversity from Nepal who are in United States doing amazing things and their stories as well, and kind of comparing it with people who are back home studying the same major. So what differences do we see when a person finishes a bachelor's or master's or a PhD in United States and comparatively with the same degree in Nepal? And we also land different questions about how they came up doing what they do right now, and what are the things they would like to explore on those things. So the amazing stories, you guys should definitely check it out. We have different stories so far. We have founders, we have people who are doing amazing in California based on software engineering, also in Nepal, and other things. So yeah, that's the Source Code On podcast. And also within the Source Code On nonprofit, what we do is we try to connect these stories, and overall to connect everyone within the Source Code On. What we do is we created the website sourcecodeon.com, where what we do is we talk about different stories from different people and bring it on the website. Who doesn't want to be on the podcast, or just doesn't feel like they have to get a whole episode, like a 40-minute or 50-minute episode of their own. And if they want to share a small piece of the thing that they want to talk about, they will definitely come up. And on the website, there's a section called Your Stories, where you come up and put your stories within there. And then we'll post it over there, as well as to also showcase what our different projects we have done so far within the source code. And there are different other ideas that we want to run through it. So everything is listed on the source code um, nonprofit website. And this year I went ahead and established Source Code On Private Limited for a product called Nutan app. And that is basically, we're going to talk about it from now and ahead. So I'm just gonna ask if there is any question so far, and before I go ahead and talk about the product itself. Okay, I guess no questions. I'll just go ahead. Okay, so this is the app we are going to talk about. Currently, it's being built. We are building Nepali health tech app called Nutan, and Nutan also means new. And this is an idea that we want to connect and revolve around health tech, basically because it's a appointment based system. And what we do through appointment based system, or why are we building this app, why is it so important? So here's some headlines that talks about Sahid Gangalal National Heart Center in ruins. So this is the building of Sahid Gangalal National Hospital Center. And this is another picture of within the article from the Kathmandu Post, where it says government mismanagement leads to crowding at hospitals. So why does all of this thing happen? We will go ahead and know about this in detail, and then we'll talk about, basically this is our problem statement. So every time we create a product anywhere, for any kind industry or anywhere, we have to showcase what is the problem statement or a need statement. Why do we need this product, right? And this was not so far away. This was November 21st, 2023. So this is not so far away in time. And for this, what we need an app that can streamline appointment system in Nepal, so the patients don't have to wait a long hours. Neither the police officers has to get involved, nor the government has to get involved, nor the doctors who get harassed at hospitals just because they're working. Will those things doesn't happen. Within a survey that was done at different Nepali hospitals, many doctors said that we are underpaid, we are very neglected, we are not treated properly, and everyone wants to get done with NCLX or USMLE and just get out of Nepal in medical sectors. They only work in many hospitals unless, and I'm just talking about the average number of people, and doing a generalization that they also want to get away because not only the money issue, but also when this situation happen, people get out of control and harass doctors as well. And we just saw an incident with the KMC hospital in recent times, like 3 months ago. So for those things, why does it happen? So let's see. It happens because we have a prolonged waiting times. Why does it happen? So extensive wait times, people have to get up early in the morning, lose their sleep. They're already frustrated, no coffee, I would say, and they have to get there and get their token. And then have to just wait. The token is not even for appointments, but the token is just to get an appointment, right? So they have to get an early token just to wait until the windows will open at 8 or 9, depending on the hospital. And then again, will go within the token numbers, and then you will say what you are there for. And then they will give you another token number. to meet the doctor in line. So let's say you are meeting a cardiologist at a heart center, then you will wait. Your number is 23. You're waiting behind 23 people, and you God knows when from 8 a.m. in the morning, and you were there at the hospital like 5 a.m. in the morning because you wanted to be like the first 15 people. And now you don't know when the doctor is going to show up, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And then there are 23 people ahead of you who you need to who needs to go first before you meet a doctor, right? And let's imagine a situation where you're not even from Kathmandu Valley. You're coming from outside the valley, from far districts, like let's say Darchula, or you're coming from Sarlai or other places where your cost has already increased because you had to book a hospital, you had to book a hotel room just to stay in there. So you would get up early in the morning and get to the hospital. So even before meeting a doctor, your health cost has already increased, right? And then once the doctor comes in, you go ahead and you don't know if the other person, one person, the 23 people ahead of you is going to take 10 minutes on average, 15 minutes on average, or even 25 minutes on average. You don't know that. And many people might have been there for a follow-up, which is even worse because you already had met a doctor, you already get done with the treatment, but still when you are coming back, you have to wait in line and get the token and everything again and again. So that is the need, that's the alarm that we are trying to snooze off. And also the operational strain on hospital staff. So the pictures we saw in the previous slides, the government mismanagement leads to crowding at hospitals. So why does this happen actually? So once we see, you don't know, the hospital doesn't know how many patients they're going to see in a day. The cardiologists, the surgeons are performing 10 to 15 surgeries in a day at top level hospitals in Nepal, and they don't know how to actually handle the crowd because they never know how many people are going to show up, right? So the hospitals are under constant pressure to navigate through the crowd, to manage it, and to provide a better healthcare facility, right? And this is one of the recent episode that happened in Nepal. Medical Council finds negligence in blood mismatch case of Sahid Gangalal Hospital. So a patient had to die just because their blood group was not matched. Can we even imagine in this today's time? It doesn't take like one minute to 2 minutes to manage someone's blood group. So why does this happen? This happened because the hospital was under constant overwhelming amount of patient flow, which they don't know how many people are going to show up today, right? So we need to streamline that kind of problems as well. And how do we do that? We do that through the hospital appointment booking app, Nutan. It's not just a solution, it's a promise to elevate healthcare accessibility. So you use the app, you go in there, you select the hospital you want to visit, you see what you, the first thing that would start is asking you what you need care for. So you need to see a cardiologist, you need to see a dentist, you need to see a primary physician, something like that. And you click in there, you type that, you click in there, you see the hospital listed for that kind of thing, and you select one, you choose the doctor, you see their calendar pop up, you see the time they're available for what days work for you best. You select that, your appointment is booked. Now nobody has to hassle all those things that we just talked about, right? So a seamless patient-centric approach that empowers everyone involved, not only the patient, the hospital, the doctors, everyone. And so what other features are we saying that will have in the app? So user-friendly interface that we just talked about, appointment scheduling would be a very effortless, crowd management. The hospital gets to know they're seeing 150 patients at a day or 200 patients a day, mainly 10 patients a day. How many? How many people are there for blood testing? How many there are for X-rays? How many are there for a surgery? How many are there for a general physician care? How many are there for a vaccination that we all international student has to take before getting into United States, right? So they all know and they can all manage, hire, or get more people involved, or just make the process more smoother. And rather than just people wandering around the hospital, waiting around cafeterias just to wait until the doctors come in, right? And health promotion. What are the two main things that we want to promote through the app also is over the counter medications that we are saying. So let's say tomorrow Nico paracetamol or Nico gets banned by the doctors or the Ministry of Health, and nobody's allowed to use that medicine. It's not suggested to use that medicine. But how about people who are still in remote areas of Nepal and who are still consuming those medicines. So through this app, we can send a push notification saying government has banned the use of paracetamol, right, in our native languages. And we are also thinking about adapting to the state languages where the people from those state been or those district where people speak the native languages in a higher amount, right? So in their native language, the notification will show up saying government has banned paracetamol and is suggested not to use and also not to be sold. So many people who are in pharmacies will take off those medication from the showcase. The other medication that is suggested will be performed. So those things that these are the small things that we also want to promote through the app. And so what we are doing, we are trying to manage the time and resource efficiently. We are providing data-driven insights to the hospitals, to the surgeons, and we also want to promote one more thing, that is to provide the doctors, the surgeon, the healthcare practitioners, everyone, that once they would get the app installed, they will log in through a regular channel that we will create and single sign-on or something like that with the hospital they are associated with, or just a regular sign-on for them when they are associated with us or a registered user for us, the Nutan app. And what they will see is once they log in, they have all the hospital's name and they can add their schedules within. And what they will do is search some hospital, let's say Norvik Hospitals a doctor is working on, and he has his own private clinic that he sits from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., something like that. Then again, he goes to Kanti Bal Hospital, he can add that too, or she can add that too. A nurse practitioner, they will be able to add multiple. There are many people who work multiple shifts in Nepal, even in the United States, but we are focusing in Nepal, so they would be able to add that. There will be many health assistants that we able to add, and so on and so that. So the actual practitioner who have multiple appointments, they can do that too, and also work great for people who are providing home care facilities, right? They're going door to door to elder cares. They can add their schedules in there and just manage it, right? Like our regular college application software, so something like that, right? Where you see your assignment is due this day, once you uh, add those classes. So something like that. So we are trying to do all those things, and definitely this one is really important to us to provide a notification or warning related to medication that we just talked about. And so, how do we make this app? We are talking about making an app. It's in the idea is there, the vision is there. We know what we are trying to do, what we are trying to build, what feature it will have. But how do we implement it? That's a big plan, right? How do you get the funds? How do you get where do you get your funds from? How do you get your revenue models, right? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to build it through Android Studio, because it's my one of my senior design project is also making an app. So I figured out, why not make the app without any cost? Why pay money just for the subscription to make an app? We'll create using Android Studio, which is absolutely free. And once we have it available on Android services, we can move it to Mac OS server, which is prominently using for Apple users. And then after ready, right? So without cost, we are able to make app. So who's going to make the app? That's where our cost lines up. So our cost, we are going to hire people who have dynamic portfolio for software development, product development, and those things. Maybe a team of 4 or 5 people who can make this, who can market this, right? And then after develop this, they have to also create a database that we can access, that anybody can access at any time from no matter what part of Nepal they are doing it from. And also trial period. So we are also looking to provide 3-month extension to all the hospitals or private clinics, also doctors or healthcare practitioners who would be using the app. And after 3 months, if they feel like we are still in dilemma to provide a 3-month, 3-week, 1 month, something like that. But that's a draft to say 3 month. And once that is done, we'll charge a nominal fee for that. And why does this trial period, why is this trial period so important? Because we want to show actually what's the difference is, and you feel it before you actually pay a subscription fees to the app. So just use it. The hospital gets to use it, the healthcare practitioners gets to use it, and they will actually see this so much better than regular appointments system that is being implemented these days, right? So revenue model again. So to provide all these services, we are saying we'll charge a nominal fee post trial to the hospitals, also to the healthcare practitioners later on. And also we are thinking to collaborate with the Health Ministry of Nepal and to showcase the necessity of having this technology involved and make the appointment system very accessible, right? And I wrote a sentence which says, imagine a model where success is shared and the impact is sustainable. So we all are involved in this: patients, doctors, hospitals, healthcare ministry is involved, and we all work on a product that is very meaningful to us and it's gonna be used every day, like every other day that will be used. And so just to show a number of our customers that can be potential users that we are talking about is this is for 31st December 2022. We see a number of MBBS is 27,805 and bachelor in dental surgery is 4,413. So altogether 32,208 people. And I think this is a fair amount to say it's being produced every year. And the specialist for this MD, MS, MDS is around 10,000. So we're talking about 42 or 50,000 people who are potential users for this app. They're working somewhere at some private clinics, some hospitals, some clinics, some health posts, and we can use this or they can use this, right? So this is just a small fraction of showing what our potential users can be. And also we have not even enlisted all those hospitals or healthcare clinics out there, right? And yes, so we are trying to build this to navigate all those things as passionately as we can. And anybody who wants to get involved in it is very much welcomed. Also, we're looking to hire people who have experiences in software development, who thinks they can work on this through a team they can build. Maybe you're doing an internship, maybe you're doing your own projects. Many software engineers do that. This can be your dream demo projects that you want to, and we can run this where we are ready to launch your big dream projects through us, and we'll fund you, we'll provide you access to all the resources that you would need. And if you can build this app with all those features, we'll love to work with you. And before we go, we are currently working with a software team that is going to build a prototype for all these features involved. And by looking at the prototype, then we'll decide to go ahead with them or not. And so, yeah, so if you're in software engineering or anybody who has an idea how to make apps or just does it for fun, if you can make this, make your team reach out to us, and we'll love to work with you. I really love the idea of students doing senior design projects or hands-on involvement on multiple projects that works both for them and for us. So yeah, and I'm open for any questions. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Thanks.
Thank you, Neeraj. That was honestly very informative. So I met Neeraj, I think last semester, and he was promoting his podcast at the time, and his app was in the works of like being like making. So it's really amazing to see how you've grown throughout the entire time, and I'm super excited for you. So I had a couple of questions on my own too. How are you balancing everything? Because you said you're in your senior year and you have a podcast and you have a startup. How are you balancing your sleep, your eating habits, everything in life right now?
I'm definitely, thanks, Ishu, for the question. I'm definitely working on the schedule to hit the gym at least 3 or 4 times a week. But other than that, I think it's the idea was always there. But what I would like to say is once you have something on like some vision that this thing should be implemented, and it really resonates with what I believe in. And the thing that I believe in is um, I started just a regular platform, and I believe that we'll just do it through during the COVID time. I just thought we'll just do through Instagram. I will just invite, let's say I will invite you to talk about your experiences, and we'll do through Instagram live. And people did join, like there were like 20, 25 people at first, and then after it grew to like 50, 55 people joining through live Instagram live, right? But afterwards afterwards there's nothing, right? There is no like this is being recorded right now, right? Anybody who wants to listen it to later on can listen to this, right? If they are missing the live session or something like that. So that was the vision, and things went and ahead. And I just want to answer narrow your answer by saying this is if you have something you believe in, and once you start working on it, there will be days that you don't want to do it because you're doing so many things. But it's just, I think, time management that I've learned through my internships and research experiences. And it's just not only about going and working over there. These things are also being taught to us every day. So like, hey, how would you manage your time? The undergraduate research opportunity program has done that very effectively. Taught us how to manage the time, how do you manage your calendar invites and those things. So once we set foot in it, I think there is constant motivation that keeps you pushing and helps you like narrow it down. So there is no one basic formula like a square plus b square, something like that, but just happens.
Thank you.
I
I
hope
also,
it answers.
yeah. I also wanted to ask you, what's your most memorable moment? Because last weekend we were at the Women Conference and you were running around juggling everything, and you seemed excited and you seemed tired at the same time. So, what has been your most memorable experience or lesson you've learned so far throughout this entire journey?
Yes, and that was definitely a great event to be, and I almost had missed it, but I talked with Ishu, and she's like, "Yeah, you should have been here." And I was planning to go, but there was a schedule conflict because I was proposing the app to some of our investors, and that happened. But once I reached there, I saw there was a clinic. There were two female Nepali doctors who had just opened their clinic, and I was really interested to talk to them because now when I am doing, like, I'm talking here, and I would like to talk to some other people somewhere about like what I can learn. And just I just found out about Susan is doing a great thing with the health tech, and I would love to talk to him, right, in detail about like how he's planning it, and his team is working on it. So those things. And I think it's a constant push to how do I do better, and what am I lacking in. Like Susan is working on the project, and he find out about I am doing this, and he's here to listen to me. He took out the time, and I believe, I definitely know he would have something, he was doing something else, and he still took out time and be here. So we all have been here, so we are still trying to learn and do something else. So that's the same thing with me also, trying to know and do better. And the the conference with the all the female entrepreneurs of Nepal, that was definitely, I get more motivation to do these things, like make it fast and also to do it right, because I see all these people and they're trying to make a fight for themselves with this growing world and with this growing technology. So yeah.
That's honestly so amazing. But it was a huge pleasure seeing you come through at the event. I
Yeah.
mean, I know it was last minute, but I think we had a blast. So there's a question in the chat. It says, how do you see
uh,
the intersection of biomedical research and tech, just shaping the future of healthcare? By Joel.
yes, thanks all for the question. I think the biomedical engineers we are kind of called as the jack of all trades. So we are in the intersection of electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and then after software engineering as well. So we go through different subject uh, materials, and material science is there for us. So not only talking about how does this help, I think we are already in it. So let's say our senior design project, we have like I think 14 senior design project for this semester who are graduating with us. So there are various projects they're working on. Like I'm making an app which I have only taken one Java class ever in my 4-year university course, and I'm making an app using Android Studio, right, with my team partner Juan. And there are other people who are making. One of them is making the robot which will help the nurse carry all those medicines and all those things in a tray, and the robot will move with the nurse practitioner to different rooms. So see, imagine. That's like the nurses will not have to carry anything, no medications, no other things is needed to be carried, and something those are heavier to carry, right? One of the team is working with the fire department to make whenever somebody gets burned or something, they will immediately transfer the patient into the truck and other ambulances or other services by saving the fraction of seconds so that they can reach the hospital faster or the health treatment faster. So there are many amazing projects, and this not only happens in the senior design, but all the way through the biomedical course. So we are kind of stepping into the cell and gene therapy also. So biomedical engineer who focuses on tissue as well as genetical background. I'm a medical device. My track is in medical devices and imaging. So all those devices that work with X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, and all those things, we study about that. And all people who are with the biologics or cell and gene therapy or tissue engineering will more work more with the biomedical implants we see. So dental implants, orthopedics, and then after all those bone and kneecap we see, right? And those things are also made by biomedical engineers. So it's a definitely a good course, and it kind of streamline the engineering into the medicine world. And biomedical engineers, I guess, everywhere. We're everywhere. We go to pharmaceutical world. We go to graduate school. There are PhD students doing amazing research on different things, food and science technology. So anybody who's interested in finding out more through BME, so definitely check it out. I hope it answers the question.
I mean, you're doing amazing, Neeraj. So there's a couple
Yeah.
more questions in the chat again. So Bidan asked,
Yes.
what are some challenges that you face with your like company?
Okay. So what are the challenges you have faced with the startup? Would love to know more about it. Sure. Thanks, Vidan, for the question. I guess challenges, I would say the first thing is what you want actually to do with the app, right? So as I said, my first was to streamline the information system between students in Nepal and United States, right? So they just don't get scammed by other consultancies. They just send people to random university for random majors, right? And so to stop that, also the main problems arises. The first step, the challenge is, what do I actually want to build, right? So I want to make an app that is going to manage a hospital appointment system. Okay, that's my vision. So what else do I need? So I need to work on something, which things which are interconnected to each other. So hospital appointment system is not only interconnected with patients, but also with the hospital team as well, right? So how many doctors are available at the site? How many doctors, nurse practitioners are there, right? How many, let's say, the blood group, Red Cross Society does blood donations, right? How many blood banks are open for, like in Nepal, in Kathmandu, where people can actually go and find those blood samples that they need, right? So those things are interconnected. So that is the first, like, what's your vision, the clarity, and approachable also. There's like three fancy words that we use all the time. All the innovators use it. We say it should be, the goal should be achievable. The goal should be manageable, and also should not only be like a fancy dream, but also can be something that seems like it's possible to make. Right? I can say I want to invite all the doctors and nurses in Nepal and all the surgeons in Nepal to join my app. The first day I will make it, but it's not going to happen, right? There is other things that there is like HEPA acts that we have to pass through, right? When you're making a healthcare app, there are other regulations that one have to follow, right? There are other things. So how do you go? That's the vision, but how do you land up there is the bigger challenge. But I think once you narrow it down, once you write down the flow, as I say it, once you write, okay, I'm making an app, I need people who can use it, the patients. So why should they use it, right? What's their incentive in using this app rather than just going to hospital and booking an appointment? Okay, so I'm saving them time, I'm saving their money, I'm saving their resources. That's the first. We move to the next level. How's the hospital or doctors or private practitioners who are using the app get benefited, right? We can not only target one audience and not neglect the other part of um, the same group, right? So it's interconnected. So that's the second thing for me. And then after, also, you want to make an app. Do you have funds, right? So who is going to make it, right? Who is going to make it? How much they're going to ask you money for? Do you have enough money? If not, are you looking for seed fundings, right? So how does that work? How does investment works? How does angel investors invest on those projects? What do you get out of it, right? What's your incentive? Are they going to take over all your projects, right? What's your vision? Why you wanted to build it? If somebody not only wants to give you money to make it, what's their idea behind it? right? What do they want to achieve through it? So I think those are the challenges, but once you get into it, you just swim your way across it and find out one step at a time. And definitely you need mentors, faculty mentors, your fellow workers, friends, families, right? Who you can talk about it to have more clarity. So that thing. I think there's one more question
Yeah.
coming from Susan. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, I'm glad you're
Hey,
here, man. Yeah.
yeah, it's not really a question. I think it's more of a
Okay.
suggestion for you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have been operating on this field for a while, and I think one of the things that strike out to me was this is a very good concept. It is what Nepal needs, but there
Mm-hmm.
are already some alternatives there, like Hamro Doctor, the Clinic One. There is this
Mm-hmm.
company called Dafe Health, which actually have their entire source code uh,
Mm-hmm.
is open source, so anybody can
Mm-hmm.
build it. So the suggestion I have for you is, do you there is this concept of smart on fire. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you have heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this something like this could be a smart on fire application instead of iOS and Android.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because what you can do is you can launch that into even in US like the Cerner, Epic, and all those EHR platform, and then
Mm-hmm.
just integrate with them rather than you trying to create a user base. Because when you try to create your own user, first of all, you
Mm-hmm.
have to do user survey. You have to mm,
Mm-hmm.
ensure you are bringing certain value to the people, right? And then there is always problem with adoption. There is always problem with laws and all those things. So rather
Mm-hmm.
than creating those, you can just associate yourself with already established player
Mm-hmm.
and make your name with that approach, right? It's just a suggestion for you. Look into that side of the story. I also do have a project ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Something on a little larger scale. I have like 30 engineers actually creating an EMR platform for Nepal, and our
Okay.
target is to actually have the entire hospital management system, which covers the appointment scheduling and all this thing you talked
Mm-hmm.
about, right? So maybe
Mm-hmm.
as a partnership, it could be when we launch, and we do
Mm-hmm.
have like some launching hospitals as well. Kathmandu University have already signed up and all those things. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
something we can do is you can create a smart on fire application that sits on top of our platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a win-win for both scenarios, right? And it doesn't have to be with my platform or our platform. It could be anything. So
Yeah.
all I'm saying is whenever you try to create some startup or some company, the main goal you should focus on is what value, what problem you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
solve, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the problem should be big enough that nobody can come tomorrow or next month and eat your
Mm-hmm.
entire problem, right? So if that
Mm-hmm.
happens, then
Yeah.
like one moment you feel like you have a lot to do, and next moment all everything's gone, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, think about that. We can sync offline as well, and then talk through all the issues and all the things that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the insight. But what I want to say is these are the opportunities the NSA is doing this, calling on speaker series, right? And also the other diaspora events that exist, and this is why we should join it because I did not know you guys are there, right? And when I last checked, they have the Hambro Patro, the Hambro Doctor thing. Those are the only doctors who are associated with Hambro Patro or registered in the Hambro Patro app, right? Those things. So mine, we are definitely here. Or mine app. Why do I want to create it? Is when I last went in 2022, I did not see a change happening there anytime soon. I mean, if there are any other people, it's not about the app. It's about me, right? It's about the vision. So it sounds more like being egoistic in that approach of saying it that it's not about the application, it's about the creator. Because I'm saying it because I know the vision is not only limited to hospital appointment app in that sense. Because
Hmm.
see, when I first created it, it was only about, let's think about the hospital appointment system, as you said, right? So the problem should not be so small that others can come and take away her, because at the end it's gonna connect with the money resources as well, because you invested your time, you put all these resources, you hired people, you want to get them to get paid, you want yourselves to get paid and solve a social problem. That's all engineering, or that's all we go to university for. right? It's
Right.
not only
Yeah.
about us, it's all about a committed environment that we live in, right? So
Yep.
that's what I thought about off the counter medications. And I do not think your application will thought about that off counter medication alert system should be implemented within our applications, right? So that thing is there. So I mean, I'm very happy that we both exist independently, and that's what I'm trying to say is these platforms like this right now, what we are doing over here. And there are other many people. There might be somebody who just now thought about creating a healthcare system app that we are already working on, because he or she doesn't see it in Nepal working, right? And definitely that is because we are too late. The world is way too far gone, and we are just taking baby steps, right? So we anybody who was thinking to create an app today, he or she just woke up and like, okay, I just heard from my parents that they had to wake up 4 a.m. in the morning and had to go to hospital to take an appointment. Why cannot, and in over here in United States they can use ZocDoc and other applications and just go and visit a doctor appointment, or just by making a call, right? So if he or she decided today that I'm gonna make it, right, and if he or she is here listening to it, I say, please do your own research, do your own findings, right? And listen to us, what we are trying to create. If your idea resonates with us, please come join us. If not, make your own, right? Make your own, make it less cost effective as much as possible, and then we can blend it. Maybe I will join Susan Mandari's team, right? I can, maybe he can buy my idea off, right? Like, you don't have to exist
Right.
independently, you can
Just
join me, right?
yeah, just a little remark on that. Maybe I didn't made it
Yeah,
clear earlier. Um,
yeah.
it was not. I'm very excited for what you're doing. I don't even.
No, no, I
I'm
understood. Yeah,
assuming.
there's no grudges. Yeah,
No. It's
yeah,
not about classes. I think so. I think you're in college, and I don't remember when I was in college. I'm probably like playing soccer, eating momos, and not even thinking about it. So kudos to you on that. When I
mm,
mentioned when I mentioned earlier, the make your own, solve your own problem, bring some values. I was not
mm.
specifically talking about us in general, right? For example,
Yeah,
the
yes,
the problem
yeah,
is so big. There are enough spaces for 100 companies, 100 thoughts like us to solve problem in
mm-hmm,
Nepal, right? What
mm-hmm,
I was referring to was so I've been associated with healthcare startup for last 5 years, and been to a lot of meetings, a lot of angel investing, a lot of pitch deck
mm-hmm,
and stuff like that. And one of the thing that always come up it is your idea should be simple enough for people to understand in one sentence, right? If you have to
mm-hmm.
explain it in two, then in some way, and I'm not referring it to you, I'm saying is what I
Yes,
know now is if I cannot explain it to anybody in one sentence, then I don't know the problem enough, right?
mm-hmm,
As an
mm-hmm,
engineer, we tend to have this solution oriented thinking, but as
mm-hmm,
an entrepreneur, we have to have product oriented thinking, right? So there
mm-hmm,
is a big jump there. When I mentioned that smart on fire to you earlier is
mm-hmm,
we want to be able to go with like a border hose, so whenever
mm-hmm,
the water comes in, you try to catch as much as possible, right?
mm-hmm,
um, so again, I think there is an opportunity for us to partner, there is an opportunity for us to talk and learn. um, all the things I didn't do wrong, that didn't do right the last 5 years, uh, maybe you don't have to make the same mistakes, right? And I'm off
mm-hmm.
for it. I'm there to
Yes.
as a partner, as a mentor, and as a friend, or whichever capacity you see me like involving. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was very excited when we talked to the other group, and maybe Ishu can drop that link also over here if anybody wants to join. And I was very excited. And like, okay, somebody has already. I'm like so much in relief. I can talk to him about whatever I am like. I'm thinking right now, because also there is one more thing that I wanted to do after this product gets launched and we go somewhere, right? So it's to like carry the transplants. I'm just saying the idea, and anybody wants to use it, use it. Feel free to use it. Organ transplant. So we create a device, right, or something. Because I saw this somewhere in senior design of other university. What they've made is they made a device, and where you can put your organs in there. If somebody has to take it to other hospital or from one place to another, and those has wireless features, those have tracking enabled in it, And there's so much. I mean, I'm just saying one of the examples we are talking about here, as Susan mentioned, that because there's so much horizon for us in Nepal. Technically, that our skill and our motivations have enough space, right? And I'm very happy that Susan is there now. I can talk to him like, hey, how can we align this thing together? And also not only get like he's trying to run this, I'm trying to run this, rather than get involved and run things together and find something more, right? And so thank you very much, Susan, for, and this is the great, I'm like something like this exists, like NSA exists during this speaker series. Otherwise, I would not have known about Susan. And maybe a year and 1 or 2 and 2 years after his product gets launched, and I'm looking it through rooting of Nepal on the post or some newspaper articles. I'm like, all these years I could have talked to him, right? So yes.
Neeraj, so there's a quick question in the chat. It says, is there any paper or like a website where like I can learn more about your work? Because Abhilash has to go
Yes.
sadly. So do you want to drop it
So
down in the chat? Your
yes, I'm
website, your LinkedIn,
typing.
and all of that.
I think you dropped my LinkedIn on the top, right?
Yeah.
So this is our website that we created, and it has all the projects that we are currently working on. So this is why our nonprofit exists and our private limited exists, because nonprofit is for things that we want to publicize and work more, like stories. Like Susan can be my next guest, and I can talk to him about his vision, right? I can bring on Ishu, I can bring other people from the group who wants to talk about their experience. And the nonprofit also is aiming to provide funds for people back home. There's my friend who runs Trinket for Education. So what they do is, I just want to give a shout out to them, is Trinket for Education collects fund from here in the United States. So anybody, any alumni, any people who are working have enough money for themselves, and then they can contribute a little bit, like $20, $30, $40. Think about how much it makes sense back home. And they send that money to rural areas of Nepal and provide funds to them, right? So like for so far, I think if you go to their website also, it's called Trinket for Education. If you check them out, they have already done like 5 or 6 students, and they have paid the year of tuition in school. So that is a cool thing too, right? So nonprofit exists for those things that we can push ourselves to do much better in a sense of in a society and a commitment. And the private limited exists so we can get those ideas to get some funds out of it and to work into something more and more. So those things. But thank you, Vilas. Please connect with me on LinkedIn or visit our website, drop your information, and we'll get in touch.
Perfect. So we have like about 20 minutes remaining, and I wanted to like touch a little bit on this. So you're an international student, and you're in one of the most hardest majors at UTA, which is biomedical engineering. What advice do you have for those people? Because I know Hemshankar, who's like in this chat, he's also a biomedical,
Okay.
and I know he was looking for some mentorship, some guidance. So what advice do you have for those
Yes.
students?
Yes. So definitely the first thing is he or she, I don't know, if he or she is already thinking about getting a mentorship while in college, that's a big step, because rather than wandering around like what experiences I should have or what other things I should achieve, uh, one should get involved with. First thing is, I would say, get involved with student associations, right? So why? It's not only about doing fun things together, it's also about learning these things. Like if this thing happened today, if you are not following NSA today, right? You would not have known about this. So first thing is to do that. And I would always suggest, and I think Susan can add on later, that you should get at least 2 mentors, right? And friends and families are there, right? And then after more than that, there should be 2 people who should be guiding you. One should be from your own faculty, right? And it can be anyone, right? A fellow student who is graduating, who is doing some internship, who is a PhD candidate, who is a teaching assistant, or those things, right? Who can guide you, like, because you don't know, because I did not know doing a medical imaging would only, because when I came from Nepal, I was focusing on creating portable side MRI machine that we can use, because in Nepal that's not a possibility for us, because old people has to get hospital to get scanned for MRIs, right? And they're just old, right? So why don't we create something portable that can go to their houses, get the scan done, give the doctors the result, and gets the job done without harming the people. That was my vision when I first came to United States studying biomedical engineering. But then I studied biomedical engineering and I found out, okay, no, this is, and as you said, it's one of the competitive majors out there. And as I found out, you don't have to have a big magnetic environment to do that, and it's not possible in portable size, because it's possible. Many people have done that, but there's two things in that: it degrades the quality or it raises the price. So doesn't work both for us in Nepal, right? We cannot be looking at something having cheap and also not effective, right? Because we cannot afford expensive things for in rural areas or in suburban areas, right? Not all the hospital, maybe Medicity can afford it, maybe KMC can afford it, but not all the hospitals can afford it, right? So that is the thing over there. So those things. So first thing is have someone mentor you in a faculty based, and other someone who is not in your major, not in your department, someone outside of your field, so they can guide you through your personal experiences, right? Like a second opinion. I want to do this internship. My faculty advisor suggested this. So what should I do now? Right? This seems like a good opportunity, but I also want to participate in United Nations Youth Council this summer. But should I go for pharmaceutical experience, or which aligns more with my major, or something with the United Nations that I personally get invested in? Right? So what choices would you make? So for that type of clarity, for this type of visibility, it's better to have people who will give you more opinion on those things. And eventually it's your decision making anyways. So
Sujanda, do you also want to like kind of add on to that as like a biomed
yes.
major?
Yeah, I think Neeraj touched on a lot of points that make sense, and I resonate with them. I think personally, I would say make mistakes, put yourself out there. I think is somebody from Nepal. I think one of the things that I kind of like struggled with through my college and initial in my career was confidence. You know, the lack of which you don't put yourself out there. You don't be a leader. You know, like we always talk about, oh, I may not be the very good public speaker. I may not have the top-notch interpersonal skills. It doesn't matter. Communication is not just language, right? That's one thing we have to think about. And also, is somebody from that side of the world? I think it's always better if you prepare 10, 20, 30, 40 more minutes before joining an interview or in meetings or whatever it is, compared to other like native folks. But if you don't do that, if you don't put yourself out there, nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna come and tell you that you are doing a good job unless you make them notice, right? That's the one thing. So if you have to take away one thing from this conversation, I think that should be one. Second thing is make mistakes. Do it. We wait for the right time. We wait for the right moment. We try to always get the best option, and that is wrong, right? There is no best options. The faster you eliminate the wrong options, the more progress you're gonna make. So start early. Just eliminate the wrong options. That's all I think can think of right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of that. Make mistakes and learn, and make sure to have a good mentor that who like who's there to help you along the way. So we're almost towards the end. Neeraj, do you have anything else that you want to say before we end off the event? Any other things that you might recommend for everybody? Any
Yeah.
last moment thoughts?
Uh, yes. So definitely would suggest following Susan also everywhere where you can. He's doing great. I'm going to talk to him afterwards and find out more from him as well. And also join communities, because it's not only about profiling the people who have established it, the founders who have established it, because you will gain more profit from them than the founders would ever get profit, that amount of profit from them, because it's for us, like people like us, right? So let's narrow down to a few thoughts here. First is we need to why we are international students, right? And also people who are from here, works both ways, because I see the fight is the same. Right? There's only few things that we struggle more than them because they have the leverage. I think leverage would be the right word, than us because they were born here or they were raised here, right? So few things are make connections. It's for everybody. Do not burn your bridges. Never burn your bridges, right? So you never know who is gonna come in handy at what period of time, right? If you have political views that doesn't align with somebody else, do not share them, right? Keep it to yourself unless you're in a political debate that's happening. That's another thing, but other than that, you are not here to police anyone, right? You're not here to police anyone. Nobody owes it to you and you owe it to nobody. I would say that. And try to get along, learn as many languages as you can. Learn Spanish. It works great for United States. It gets you into the world of many countries, I would say. Many disciplines. Many people are looking for candidates who can speak two languages or three languages because they help them to narrow down deals, also help them, the other candidates that they have, the other engineers that they have, to have a better communication through the upper string in the industry levels or something like that. So first thing is get involved, learn, push your boundaries, learn when to take rest, but create a healthy, let's say, schedule, right? And yeah, time will pass by, so gain some experiences. uh, Push your boundaries, push your thoughts, learn more. And every day, no opportunity is small or big. Sometimes money is not a big deal if you're getting paid $12 an hour or $20 an hour. Get that experience, right? And also try to get experiences as closer to your university is, right? So you don't have to waste on resources like moving out or something like that. But if that is something that you have to do eventually because you are not getting something in your own state, please do that. That will you will not regret that decision. And yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Neeraj. And thank you, everybody who joined us for our speaker series for today. I'm going to stop the recording today. Okay.